Good morning, everybody. It's Jessica from Chambray Blues. I thought I would jump on quickly this morning and give you a little bit of information on how to work with faux leather. So I've wanted to do this for a really long time, and I just happened to find a really great deal on this beautiful patterned faux leather at the craft store recently. And I'm just sort of playing with it today, and you know what? It's really easy to work with. I'm so glad that I decided to try it. I would have kind of been intimidated by it before, but it's super easy to do. So the first thing is that you need to know what kind of supplies to use for your project. So you're going to need a little heavier needle, such as a denim needle, either a size 11 or size 14, depending on how thick the fabric is that you're working with. Mine is actually rather thin, so I'm using a size 11. Make sure it's a new needle, that it's nice and sharp. And I use 100% cotton thread. I find it in the thread department under quilting thread. It's a little bit heavier, but it's 100% cotton, and it seems to work really well for most applications. So I kind of use that as my all-purpose thread, and on this project it worked great too. Thing to remember, you can't use pins because it's vinyl. So if you put a pin in here, you're going to get a hole. So instead you should use clips. Wonder clips are great to use. I've actually just been using my fingers, not even really clipping it together, just sort of holding it together with my fingers, and it doesn't shift. It's not like a satin that shifts really easily when you work with it. The other thing is you'll need a Teflon sewing foot, and what that is, it's just a plastic foot. It's got a real smooth bottom on it, and that makes a huge difference. If you don't have one of those, you need one, because it won't work nearly as well. It'll kind of get stuck on the fabric. Your regular foot will get stuck on the fabric and be harder to work with. So that's the main things. Then when you cut with your scissors, I just used my regular sewing scissors, but I think a rotary cutter would be even easier to use because it's a smoother motion and you want to have a smooth line. So the pattern that I'm using, it's not my pattern, it's somebody else's. I can't remember the name of it. I'll post it in the group. But it has exposed raw edges on most of it. The only place you sew it is at the shoulder seam and the side seam. All the princess lines are exposed edges, and that makes it really easy to work with this kind of fabric. So what I'm doing here is overlapping the seams and stitching them. And I know this is hard to see because it's dark, but I'm using an heirloom stitch. These are kind of looks like chicken feet, I guess, or maybe even looks kind of like hand stitching like you would see on leather. And I'm just overlapping. Maybe you can see it better on the back here. So I'm going to have to go back in and trim off a bit of this seam allowance. But it's working really well, and I think it's going to give it a real kind of a vintage handmade look. It'd be great for a costume, and it's just super easy to work with. I'm so excited. One other thing that you might want to try is fabric fusion. This stuff is great. It is really fast drying glue. So if you are one of those people that have trouble kind of keeping things together when you sew, if you use a little bit of this along the seam allowance and press it together with your fingers, wait a few minutes so it dries, it'll be smooth sailing when you get to the sewing. And I'm going to try that on, for example, if I'm going to put a pocket on the front and get it placed in just the right spot and keep it from shifting, I'm going to try a little bit of this around the edges. So that's what I've got for you today. I'm going to be doing another live on Monday. If you have a fit question that you want me to address or a concern, please leave me a comment and let me know. Also, if there's another video that you'd like to see, I'd love to know that too. So someone mentioned the other day they'd like to see me do a video about my makes from the last month, and I will be doing that this coming week. So I love those ideas, and keep them coming so we can support each other in the community, and I'm here to give you ideas and answer any questions that you have. So let me know how I can help you and where you're stuck with your projects. I hope you have a great weekend. It's going to be cloudy, rainy here. That means lots of sewing. That's a good thing, right? So I'd love to see what you're working on too. Leave me a comment, right? Have a great day. Bye.